Hello and welcome to Europe Trip Day 1, where we start at the Munich airport at our hotel room and make our way north to Ingolstadt, which is where the Audi factory is located. Took a quick tour through Old Town, which I'll talk about later here, before making our way up to the factory. From the factory, we drive the car down south into the German Alps to the town of Berchtesgaden, Germany, just right in the bottom corner of the country. You can see my name on the TV screen here, getting ready for my Audi delivery. Of course, this is Audi, so everything has the rings on it, including Jessica's espresso. You can see my car hanging out in the back corner there. Getting ready for our delivery. We did a special tour of how to use the car and everything like that. We also got a professional picture, and Jessica took a nice little video of us leaving the building.
Our Audi. Chad just did his car presentation. So here we are in his brand new car.
Pretty nice.
Yeah. All right, you ready?
I'm ready. All right, here we go.
Let's take a look at that mileage. There's what? 11 kilometers.
11. You ready?
On the car.
I'm
We're ready.
Go forward.
Here we are driving through the Audi building.
Is all the other people taking delivery of their cars.
Yep.
Thank you. Thanks.
Here we are at the gate, and
Yep.
there's the Audi Museum right in front of us that we're going to tour later. We're going to park right over here.
What do you think? Just park
Right there looks
right,
good to me.
right by these guys.
Yep.
There we are. I have to put it into park. Park. There it is. Park. And now on to my favorite part, the driving. This is a time lapse of us driving from the Audi factory down to Berchtesgaden. We used a GoPro just mounted on the front windshield and plugged it in so the battery wouldn't die, and set it into time lapse mode, which makes it take a picture basically every half a second. So what you see here in 4 seconds on the video is about 1 minute of time passing in real life. We get one detour in this drive and make a wrong turn a few times. Even though we had our GPS going, it still was confusing a couple times. I think every single day we make some wrong turn somewhere, run in to traffic every single time. This is just the Autobahn. We make our way down the Autobahn for most of this video until making it into the mountains, where we start getting onto some of the back roads where it's a little prettier. If you wanted to skip over this time-lapse part, there's a few pictures at the 8-minute and 15-second mark, and then we arrive into Berchtesgaden, where there's some more pictures of that amazingly beautiful town at the 15-minute and 16-second mark. So I know I mentioned earlier that we got a ride to the Audi factory from the Munich airport at our hotel in the morning. It was absolutely amazing car. We got basically one of their flagship cars, which is an Audi S8. What they're used for is basically kind of a limousine type car where the back seats are more like recliners, and there's a little mini bar in there and all kinds of crazy stuff. And then obviously someone else drives up front. The driver we had, super nice guy. He said that this car, the car that we took, was used to drive executives um, around Germany or in between the plants or to meetings and stuff like that. So we might have been sitting in the same car as the CEO of Audi takes every once in a while. The car itself is actually a 12-cylinder engine, absolutely massive engine. But the way that the car was made, it just purred along. You never knew. And then, of course, once we got onto the Autobahn where there's no speed limits, he was just flying down the freeway. And if you close your eyes, you would have never known. You could have been in park for all you know. It was so quiet. Absolutely amazing, amazing ride. And our driver was super nice. He's actually from Ingolstadt, so he was telling us all about it, and we ended up getting into Ingolstadt a little bit early, so he asked us if he could give us a tour. And so we're like, absolutely. And so we drove all around through the old town, around the church and everything, and he told us all about it. It was really, really interesting, and we had a great time. Once we got to the Audi factory, we did our delivery, which is basically the car was sitting there. You saw the pictures, and then they have someone come and basically show you how to work it. You know, cars these days, they're more and more like computers now, and so you spend almost the whole time trying to figure out how to program this or program that. And since the car is it's an American based car. They make the car for delivery into America, so everything was set up in miles per hour and everything like that. And of course, in Europe, everything is in kilometers, so we had to change it all out so that we could understand how fast we were going. Um, and then after we did that, we were able to park our car outside and do a a factory tour. And I just need to get off topic here for just a second. We got a few pictures coming up. Um, Mostly all you can see here with the time lapse obviously is a bunch of trees. But there was a lot of really pretty towns kind of in the gaps there, and we took a few pictures. I think we got a picture of a church, and then another picture of some fields. I also got to go a little bit faster in one of the no speed limit areas. They had us restricted for the first 1,000 kilometers so we didn't wreck the engines. So I tried to stay below 4,000 RPM, but we still got a little bit of speed. You can see in the bottom right hand corner that's kilometers per hour on top and miles per hour on the bottom. So continuing on, the factory tour was absolutely incredible. We got to see everything from the bare metal, where they were putting the pieces of metal together to make the frame, all the way through to where they were putting all the interior, the seats, and all the other stuff into the car. It was really interesting, and Jessica thought that it was really neat too. Oh, here's another part. It probably looks a little kind of slideshowy right now. I've slowed down parts where we start getting into the little towns. This is off of the Autobahn now, where we start making our way into the Alps. Every once in a while, I had to pull over because sometimes, man, people just wanted to go so fast, especially the motorcycles and stuff. They just completely ignored the speed limits and wanted to go 100 miles an hour down these little tiny two-lane roads. I think this might be one of the parts where I took the wrong turn in that town there, and we went for quite a ways going the wrong direction before turning around and coming back. Anyways, where was I? Factory tour. Yeah, it was just really, really impressive, and I highly recommend anyone who has any interest in cars whatsoever to go to Detroit or something and try to get a factory tour. It's really, really neat. One of the other really impressive things of the Audi factory was their cafe. We were able to get free food whenever we wanted there all day. We had a special pass, and so we ate a couple times in the cafe. And it reminded me more of kind of a college cafeteria on steroids than an actual, you think of a little sit down cafe. You basically walked into it, and there was all different types of sections where you could get food. So they had like a salad bar area and a pasta area and like a drinks section and of course Germany. So they had all their meats and everything was bratwurst and all this other stuff. And they gave you French fries, which I thought was kind of funny because it was absolutely amazing food. It was so good. It was really, really good. And of course, they don't have fountain water. Everything is in bottles, so you get these fancy glass bottles of water. Um, and it was just really, really good, really impressive. The other thing I wanted to talk about was how I actually found out about the European delivery. It's something that I knew nothing about before buying the car. I had been kind of researching the cars, and Jessica and I had been talking about it for several months before we were going to buy the car, and then we were going to start the buying process about a week before I found out. I was flying with a captain who had bought BMW and done a European delivery with BMW. And she said, "Hey, you should check it out." And so I called Jessica that same day and said, "Hey, if you want to check this out, let me know what you think." And that night, Jessica said, "We're doing it. We're doing a European delivery." I said, "Okay, we'll do it." And I did a little bit of research into it too, and it's just like, yeah, this is perfect for us. Absolutely amazing. So European delivery is something that obviously Audi, BMW, Mercedes, Porsche, and I can't think of the car, Volvo in Sweden also does it. And so it's just those car dealers. Like you can't go to Detroit and get a U.S. delivery of a car in Detroit. You have to go to those manufacturers in Europe to do the Audi delivery. And what you get to do is you get to go to Europe. You get your car, literally your car, and then you get to drive it around for up to 90 days, wherever you want to drive it, and then you can drop it off. I think Audi had about 20 different drop-off locations where you could drop off the car anywhere from like southeast Europe to London and Spain and everywhere in between. And then they take the car back, and Audi basically takes control of the car again and ships it back across the Atlantic, and they drop it off in Houston, and then it gets on a truck and comes to Denver. And then I basically get reintroduced to the car again. They basically pretend that I've never seen the car before and do a completely new introduction and go through everything with the briefings and everything like that. And some things do change, like the navigation system and stuff is set up just for North America. So in Europe, you can't use it. It's not even installed. It's just a chip. The chip doesn't get put into the car until I believe they put it in Houston, or maybe not even until Denver when they do that stuff. So there's a few different things that change, but mostly it's the same exact car. Obviously, engine wise and everything like that. It's still the same car. It's just the computer system that changes just a little bit. And just one last thing about the European delivery. We did get a discount on the car as well with Audi. It's a 5% discount off the MSRP. I think BMW is 10% and Volvo is 15%. Finally, we arrive in Berchtesgaden after a very long drive. We had a little bit of clouds today, but the weather got much better the next day. We got pictures in the next video of that with much clearer skies. We spent most of our time around this kind of flat courtyard area in Berchtesgaden. The whole town is kind of built on the side of the hill, so this is the only kind of flat area around. I believe this is some type of manor or kind of royalty where the royal whoever lived that resided over the area. We also had some nice food here. I got a pork knuckle, which was on Jessica's to eat list, but Jessica didn't really want to try something new, so I got it and gave her a taste. And here she is with her local wine. There's our food there. Both of them were really good. And then we got these really cool keys at the hotel. And that's it. That's the whole day. Thanks again for watching. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. We'll see you next time.